Welcome to the Power Factor Show.
The bandwidth for this episode of the Power Factor Show is brought to you by the Firearms Radio Network, firearmsradio.tv.
Sponsored by Taylor Freelance, Rainier Ballistics, Hodgson Powders, and JPL Precision.
Hey, welcome to Power Factor. I'm Larry, and this week I'm just going to talk about some special things that our section does for matches in the summertime for USPSA. So in the past we've talked about the championship series, and if you're new to the show I want to tell you about it because it's a kind of cool thing you can do at your section and to bring in all your clubs together to hold some special matches. So what that is for us, our Northwest, we're in the Northwest section of USPSA, we're in the Seattle area, and we have 6 clubs. There's actually a new 7th club, but they're not kind of integrated yet. But our 6 clubs that we have for USPSA, we have this championship series is what we call it, and each club hosts one special match, and they try to do it up a little bit nicer. It's still just a level 1 match. So we don't go to the national organization to approve our stage designs and all that kind of stuff necessarily. But what it is you pick a division and you try to stick with that division for the whole series, and your percentages, your overall finish of the match goes in, gets saved, and it goes into the series. And what they do is they take your best 4 finishes out of those 6 matches and they average those scores together, and whoever comes out on top at the end of the season wins the series. And then they give out cash prize and a little plaque and stuff for the top 3 or 4, I don't know what it is, something like that, top 3 of each division. So every year I kind of shoot something different. I started off the first time they did it, at least the first time I was around for it, I shot limited, and then I shot open the next year, and I shot production the next year, and limited 10, and then limited again, and so this year I decided to shoot production. So we had there was a match out at our Kitsap range that I shot, and then I shot Marysville, which is our regular home club, and then the Northwest Challenge is the next one I shot. And so the Northwest Challenge is something else that we do that's a little bit special, which is a level 2 match, and that's our section championship match. And that counts twice to encourage attendance. That counts twice towards your overall championship series. Well, we don't really need to, we don't really need incentives to encourage attendance because it's a very well attended match and it sells out very quickly, and they have a maximum of, I don't know, 150 shooters or something like that. This year it was a 1-day match, and I worked as CRO on one of the stages on that one. So anyway, back to the championship series. Like I said, it's like every club hosts one special match. That score goes into, that score gets saved, and then at the end of the run, there's 6 clubs. You'll have 6 scores. But then, like I said, our section championship, our Northwest Challenge, that score counts twice. If it's one of your best 4 scores, it'll count twice towards your overall average. And it's just a fun thing to do. It's a fun thing that our section does. And I'm just, telling you about it. Maybe you might want to try something like that in your own section. And its effect is that you might have shooters that are somewhat new, or you might have shooters that are reluctant to travel outside of their home club. This helps get people out and and attending matches at other clubs that they might not otherwise attend. And and you start getting, you'll get different flavors of stage designs and things like that, because you got different people setting up the stages, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a good thing to do, and you know, if you want any more information, you can contact us about it, and we've got some details about, you know, the rules of how prizes are awarded and things like that. But in general, that's pretty much the gist of it, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. So, you know, I shot 2 regular matches. I shot the Northwest Challenge, and in there I was doing a lot of traveling for work, so I missed 2 other matches. So I do have 4 scores under my belt right now, and I'm eligible, basically. I'm now participating now that I have 4 scores. There's one more that hasn't not been held yet, and we'll just see what I'm doing when that match comes around. I'll try to attend that one and try and improve my ranking and hopefully maybe get a better score. But this year I shot production. I chose to shoot it with my compact Glock 23 that I shot. I shot rather well in IDPA at last year's 1 year ago when we had the 2013 IDPA State Championship. Shot that gun pretty well. I thought I was pretty comfortable with it, but I don't shoot it that much. And so I just basically pulled it out of the safe and just started shooting it, and, you know, loaded up some ammo for it. I did not do quite as well this year as I had hoped. I tell you what, we've got some really good production shooters. A couple of Grandmasters, at least 3 Grandmasters I can think of. Lots of master shooters, and there's a lot of tough competition these days. Production is one of the biggest divisions, at least in our area. Back when I first started shooting production in this area, I was one of like 3 at my local home club. There might be 40 some odd shooters. There's like 3 production shooters back when it was a new division. So nowadays it's a very well attended, a lot of participation in production. So there's a lot of competition. I did not shoot as well as I wanted to. One match I didn't have a camera, and a couple other matches I only got some of the stages recorded, like whether it was a camera malfunction or there was some stages with ports. And I've noticed on the videos before with the camera on top of my head that, you know, as I'm going into ports, you're just looking at a wall, so it's not that exciting for the viewers to see. So I chose not to record some of those stages. So basically I don't have any video to share with you of that one. But another special match that we do, and this is a special kind of Marysville Rifle Club, it's our annual Hosefest, and we have rotating match directors each month. Somebody new takes it, but one particular guy, you know, decides when he's going to run his Hosefest, and he'll be the match director for that match. Now that was just this past weekend. This is August 2014 I'm talking about here. And I did get video from this one, and we'll be sharing, doing a match review on that for you. But what the Hosefest is, this is something else you can do. It's pretty fun. The basic rules of stage design for this match are no steel targets, no no-shoots, no hard cover, and no targets beyond 10 yards. So essentially, wide open targets, shoot as fast as you can. There's still walls to navigate around. There's still doors to operate. There's still ports to shoot through and things like that. There's still a lot of movement. It's not just stand here and shoot 30 rounds as fast as you can at 10 targets or whatever. But stages like that could come around for certain. We did have one classifier, and you'll see that in the video. That'll be the first one that we talk about, and it's a real up close, shoot real fast classifier. There are no shoots on it, but nobody hits the no shoots. You're standing so close to the targets. It's rare that anyone hits a no shoot on this course. So, but anyway, that's kind of the basic rules of the match design, the stage designs. Is essentially wide open targets, and you're essentially testing the skill of how fast can you move, reload, and pull the trigger, and there's not a whole lot of aiming going on. Actually I'll start talking about, let's see, well, it was a 10-stage match also, which some of these stages are real short, real quick. You know, I think 12 rounds might have been the shortest stage. So there was some larger bays we fit 2 stages into the same bay, for example. So we managed to get 10 stages out of it. And stage 1, automatic, right off the bat, had a camera malfunction. The thing wasn't turning on, so I didn't get a recording. But basically, that was a 40-round course worth 200 points. And it's on a bay that we have at our club that's a long skinny bay, and then it goes around a 90-degree corner, and then it keeps going. It's wider as you go around the dog leg. It's quite a bit wider, but it's still, there's easily potential for 25-yard shots back there if you're using that bay. In this stage, we had some small walls and things to kind of get in the way of your shots. You couldn't see every target, but you had to shoot them as you're running down this long lane, and you shoot. There was 4 targets on the right, and then 4 targets on the left. So you went 2, 4, 6, 8, and then immediately kind of hit the brakes and turn, and then shoot 2 before you break 180 on the one on your left, and then get moving again, 2, and then 4, 6, 8 on the left, and 3 more targets, and then a couple of doorways that you would open, and there was a couple of close targets, but then there was some longer targets in there, and I think they were probably beyond 10 yards. So I got in there and shot slowly enough to make hits, and then speed up and get through that one. So actually, dang it, I need to talk about what division I shot. So because this was the Hosefest, I decided I was going to shoot open against all the open shooters with all their crazy race guns and their optics and compensators and everything else. And this is the gun that I shot in the open division. Yes, this is my Glock 35 limited gun. This is absolutely, completely legal for limited. This is what I shoot most often. This is what I shoot the best out of all the guns I own. This is my limited gun. So, but why did I shoot open? What makes this gun open? That right there. This is the first time I've ever tested this magazine, and I wanted to give it a try, and this put me in open division. This is a 171 millimeter Glock magazine, and this is made from a 22 round factory Glock mag, 40 caliber magazine, and it has a Taylor Freelance +3 base pad on it, taking it out to 171 millimeter, and a total round capacity is supposed to be 25 rounds. Now this, like I said, this is the first time I've used this mag. I've had it for almost a year, and I've never even test fired it, so this is the first time I even used it right there in a match, and it worked just fine. But the spring is so stiff, I'm just getting 24, like 24 and a half rounds. It's not quite taking that 25th round yet. And so you can see that it is legal. This is a magazine gauge, if you've never seen one. And this is labeled 100, I don't know if you can see that, 171.25 millimeter. That's the absolute maximum length for an open division magazine. And what you do is you lay your magazine in there like so, and if it fits, it's legal. And this little cutout here is for these base pads that extend beyond the back of the magazine. And then this side here would be for your limited magazine, which is 141.25. And as you can see, this open magazine is way too long. I have a limited mag, I'm not going to show you, but basically this is your magazine gauge that is officially what you use to determine if your mags are of legal length. So, and I have, with my mag gauge, when I first got this magazine, I had to file just a hair off the back corner of these feed lips to get it to fit the gauge, but I can't even hardly see my file marks. I mean, it was just a few strokes of the file, and it sat in there just fine. So anyway, back to the match, shooting my open gun, right, against red dots, compensators, 9mm diameter bullets. Guys were running 30 rounds in a mag, 31 rounds maybe in the gun. So, but I figured this would be the perfect match to shoot against those guys and test this magazine. Since there's not a whole lot of aiming going on, then you know, I figured I could do pretty well. So we're going to run through, I'm going to run through practice score on my phone while we're talking about these stages, just kind of talk about how I did. I didn't set up my match performance spreadsheet. I mean, this match just happened a couple days ago. But so stage 1, I already told you it's a 200 round course, 40 rounds total, and looks like I was 5th overall at about 77%. Now that's against a grandmaster open shooter, a guy named Nick, and he's finished, I think, in the top 5 at nationals. So that's who I'm competing against at this match, basically. So yeah, shooting my 40 limited gun with the big stick magazine, 77% on that first stage. So it was fun. That's the first stage we shot, and man, my heart rate was like, I couldn't calm down. I was still loading my magazines. My heart rate was still going. I ran so hard. I shot that one in 28.3 seconds. There was a lot of guys that I was range officer and running the first few shooters, and there was a lot of guys turning in times of 40 some odd seconds, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to try to get it in like 32, and I actually came up with a 28. So happy with that. Shooting B class open. Total of 193 points that I shot out of a possible 200. So cannot complain about that. The next stage that we shot, I also don't have video for, but that one was a pretty quick, like 3 position, 8 shots per position, 2, 4, 6, 8 through a port. Run over here to a doorway, 2, 4, 6, 8, and then around the end of the wall, another 2, 4, 6, 8, and you're done. So with my 24 round mag, plus 1 in the chamber, I got 25 in the gun, 24 rounds required. I did not reload, and it worked out just fine. And at least I think it did. Let's see here. I was a little slower, it looks like. I was 8th place on that one. 108 points out of a total 120 possible, and 11.8 seconds on that one. Actually, let's see, what was the deal? Oh, I had a miss. You know what? I had a miss, and that's what really hurt me. My 8.26 time was not that bad compared to 7.24 of the match of the stage winner. So I was only down behind by a second. He shot 116 points. I shot only 108 and then minus 10 for the miss. I figured if that miss would have been a delta, so say I got 110 points instead of 108, 108 minus 10, my rank would have been like 3 higher on that, but 8th place on that stage. Now I got video for the rest of these, so we'll show you what we did here, what the rest of my stages are. So this one I'm going to show you is our classifier. It's called Can You Count? It's CM0603, and let's take a look.
Where mine go. You know what that means. Okay. I think they always have. Are you ready? Stand by. A couple of them didn't. And look for your next turn. Are you ready? Stand by. Get finished.
All right, so you can see that if you're not familiar with that classifier, it's 2 separately timed strings, and you're standing in a box and you're about, I don't know, not even 3 yards from the targets, maybe like 8 feet, maybe 7 feet, and there's a wide open target, and then there's one with a no shoot next to it, and then that same array is duplicated on left and right. So you can pretty much start on either array, and you can shoot the targets in either order of that array. So, and the procedure is draw, engage one target with 5 rounds, make a mandatory reload, and engage the other target with 5 rounds. You stop, you holster, you get ready for the next string, and you do it again. Second string, separately timed, and it's the exact same thing. So looks like on that one I was 4th place overall out of, we had 15 open shooters, and 8.16 was my total time for 2 draws and 20 rounds. 100 points is total available. I made 98, so just dropped 2 Charlies. And yeah, looks all right, 90.26% of our match winner. So I'm happy with that. That's a perfect classifier for this type of match. I mean, it's just, you know, draw and shoot fast and just rip it as fast as you can. So that one, I think they usually choose that classifier for this match each year. So anyway, let's move on to our stage 4 and let's check out this video. Okay, so my cameraman was a little slow on the trigger there. We had essentially what this was. This stage was called not El Presidente, but it was set up like El Presidente, so which is, if you're not familiar, which is facing uprange, hands above shoulders, your toes are against the uprange side of the shooting box. On the signal, you turn, draw, engage 3 targets, 2, 4, 6, make a mandatory reload and engage them again, 2, 4, 6. So my cameraman here missed the start beep and my turn and my draw. But as you can see, instead of at 7 yards for El Pres, this is 3 yards, and the targets are about, I don't know, looks like they're about 8 inches apart, 12 inches apart. So the transition is not very wide. So you have the procedure of the El Presidente without the distance and without the wide transitions. Therefore, it's going to speed you up and make for some faster times. Out of 60 total points, I shot 55 in 4.68 seconds and was 4th overall with an 85.5% on that stage. So, and that was set up in the same bay. I don't know if you noticed on the previous video or if you can see on this video that you can see the other stage we had just shot, which was the classifier. So, all right, let's move on to stage 5. Let's watch the video for that one, and then we'll talk about it.
All right. That's what I'm doing. Are you ready? Yeah, bye. Moving, right? That's about the way it should be done.
Okay, so on that one, you see we have this barricade that is like this ramped barricade, and it's something that the 3-gun shooters use as like kind of a rooftop to shoot from. And there was a board, like a strip on there, but they didn't want us up on it, so they put those 2 tires that you saw on there. The start position was with your foot on the X, which was on that sloped barricade there, and that was just there basically to kind of be in our way and just to be a start position. Now the start position was not a default start position. If the start position is not defined, then you need to be standing straight up, facing straight down range, hands relaxed at sides, like that. But in this case, it was a different start position. And so they need to specify, if it's anything other than default, they need to specify how they want you to stand. So in this case, it was just 1 foot up on the X. And you could pick which foot, where you want to stand. You could be directly in front of it, you could be off to the side. But notice it didn't say anything about hand position. So you'll notice in the video, my hand is right here, my thumb against my side, hovering right over the gun. Now you're not allowed to touch the gun or any magazines before the start signal, so it's just above it to shorten my draw time. And my plan here was just to move side to side and not go into the ports. That was my plan, and I was the first shooter on this stage, and so I hadn't seen anybody else do it yet, but that was what I was thinking. I'm not gonna go forward and have to come back out and around that big barricade and go forward to the other port. I'm just gonna move side to side, and then you can see all the targets. The problem with that was, I discovered as I'm shooting, is that you had to move you had to move through a pretty wide area to get the angles to see the targets through that port. So you see I did kind of move forward a little bit on the first port, and then I came back and then started shooting targets as they became visible, even though I wasn't at the port yet on the right, and I finished up by going into the port. So it didn't go quite as well as I wanted to. I probably should have just charged straight into the port. I mean, it was only a couple of steps, and I probably could have ran the course a lot faster had I gone deep into those ports and blazed through those targets instead of trying to find the sweet spot where I could see each one of them, which was a couple of feet of movement for each. So that one didn't work out as well. I was 8th place out of 15 with 74 points out of 80 possible, and 7.94 seconds. My percentage was 76% on that stage. So yeah, even you can hear the comments on the video, oh yeah, that's a great way to do it, but it didn't quite work out for me, at least compared to the other open shooters anyway. So, but it's still a fun stage, and anyway, yeah. We'll take a look here at stage 6, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Hey, ready. Stand by. Stand by some more. All right, do it over.
False start.
Are you ready? Stand by. Oh, he's good.
So this course, this was a 28 round field course. Start in the box, there's a couple targets up close, and then you see you start running. So no shooting from the box was not part of the shooting area, and you see there's a divider wall going down the middle, and there was ports in that divider wall. There's about 3 or 4 different ports in the divider wall. You could go around the left, you could go around the right. I chose to go down the right, and you'll see that I shoot, let's see, the near left target and then the near right target. Then I go to the first port, shoot the next target on the left. There's 4 targets total on the left, so I took out the first one initially, first target engaged, took out the target on the right. Then the second target on the left, I shot through a port, so there's 2 remaining. And you see I worked my way down the right, across the back, and then I worked my way back up on the left side to engage those last 2 targets on the left. And I told the range officer what I was going to do. Now look at the video again, go ahead and rewind it and check it out. I was going through there so quick that the RO wound up being downrange of me, and I knew he was there. I could see him out of the corner of my eye, and I was engaging targets to the left, and he was off to my right, so I just kept blazing through there. But if you watch our feet, you see a point where I'm further back than he is. So that was kind of entertaining. I mean, this is kind of one of the things that to watch out for as an RO. And I tried to warn him, but he wasn't keeping up with me there. So, but that was a ton of fun. I mean, there's so many different ways of doing that one. You could go downrange a little bit and shoot right and shoot left, and go downrange some more and shoot right and shoot through another port and shoot left, and take those targets out as you advance and not come back up. But just through my walkthrough, there was just no way it would be. I mean, it was way faster just to blaze down the right and come back up the left. And I just figured, the first couple targets on the left wouldn't slow me down if I picked them up from uprange, and I didn't want to run that far uprange and potentially really get ahead of the RO. So I took out those first 2 targets, and then like you saw, I finished up on the left, moving uprange. That one, it worked out pretty well. I was 5th place and 130 points out of a possible 140, and ran that 28 round course in 12.32 seconds. Well, now that's compared to 10 seconds of our match winner, of our stage winner also. But 130 points. Oh, and by the way, our stage winner also shot 134 points, so more accurate and a couple 2.5 seconds faster. So that puts me at 85% for that stage. That's, for me, that's just great. I'm happy with that. Not normally shooting against these guys and shooting against them with a limited gun. I'm plenty happy with that. So let's see here. What's my next stage? I forget what number we're on. Looks like stage 7. And let's take a look.
Are you ready? Stand by.
Okay, so that was a 32 round field course, 4 different shooting positions, and again with a 24 round magazine plus 1 in the chamber, 25 rounds. That got me through the first 3 positions, and then there was plenty of room running from left to right to reload and make it those last 8 shots. So my thought was maybe I was just going to run 2 regular limited magazines that would hold 19 apiece and just run 16 rounds, reload, and do another 16 rounds, and just forget using the open magazine. But if you notice, I mean, you come into the second position and I shoot 2, 4, 6, 8, and then boom, right there in the third position, real wide doorway, those targets are available immediately. So I didn't want to be reloading and then waste a bunch of time. So I just figured, you know, why not go all 3 shooting positions, the first 3 with the 1 mag, and then change to the second mag. I could have also done the opposite and shoot the first position with a regular limited magazine and then reload the big stick, but that can sometimes be awkward pulling something that long off your belt when you're not used to it and trying to find the magazine well. So I thought, you know, I'll you know, run it kind of normal and start with the big stick and then reload to a 140 mag. So anyway, like I say, that was a lot of fun, just more fast shooting, although it didn't work out quite as well for me. I was 8th place on that, 143 points out of a possible 160. Ran it in 12.53 seconds compared to the stage winner at 12.46, so it was only, you know, less than 1/10 of a second off in time. Just accuracy could have improved a bit. Oh, and accuracy could have improved a bit, had 1 miss on that stage. So that's what put me down at 8th place and 85%. So with the miss, 85%, I'll take it. Against Nick, our Grandmaster, I will take it any day. Let's see what our next stage is going to be. Stage 8. And I'll get that loaded up. This is a quick 16 round stage. Check it out. So as you see, again, the cameraman was a little bit slow on the trigger. I was already shooting when the video started, but it was a basic stand facing down range, loaded and holstered start. And it was just simply 2 big shooting boxes with a wall dividing them, and 8 shots on this side, 8 shots on that side, and you had to back up and get around that wall. That worked out good for me. You know, just something quick and dirty is kind of my style. If I don't have to aim, I'm happy. 4th place overall, 72 points out of a possible 80, and ran that in 6.17 seconds compared to our match winner at 5.35 seconds. But 81% for me on that stage. Yeah, man, he was smoking. 77 points for our match winner, stage winner. Hit factors, by the way, are huge on this stage. So on this match, you know, and we'll refer to those at the end here, and I'll tell you where you can look up these scores if you want and see just how high these hit factors are. In this particular stage, 14.4 was the winning hit factor. I was in the 11.5 range. So a lot of fun when you're in the double digits for sure on your hit factors. Let's see, coming up on the last 2 stages. This is stage 9.
Stand by. Close your eyes and hit your targets.
Okay, so this one was a seated start, as you see, and it was just sitting in the chair, hands on the knees, handgun loaded and holstered, and stand up from within the box, shoot 4 rounds on the right, or sorry, 4 rounds on the left, 4 rounds on the right, and then move around, open the door, and then 4 more rounds. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So 12 rounds, 60 total points, and I was 6th overall on this one with a 9.5 hit factor, 91%. That was a good percentage for me. The winning hit factor was 10.4. That was a 56 points, 5.89 seconds. What was I going to say? Oh, I've said it before, and this is a good time to say it again, a little safety cautionary tale. I will never design a stage that is a loaded, seated start. I've seen too many dropped guns from it. You get the muzzle of your gun, if you got a limited gun or an open gun, and you've got one of these race holsters that only grabs, I don't know if you've seen those holsters that only hold the gun like that, just by the trigger guard, and the rest of the gun's hanging out. And the only way, those holsters are secure when you're up and walking around and you unlock the holster and you're standing there ready to start shooting. They're secure. I mean, you can't bump the gun out this way, you can't knock it out sideways. The gun only comes out straight up. And the problem is, when it's in your holster and you sit down and your calf, your lower leg, bumps the gun, and it bumps it right up, and then the gun comes out. And then we have a gun laying on the ground, and not a good situation. So that was the situation on here. I was not part of the match setup in this case, but I saw that. I kind of cringed. I don't like it. We didn't have any issues with this match, but luckily I have seen guns wind up on the ground from that. So that's something I encourage you guys to stay away from. Anyway, fun little stage. As you see, I whipped that door open, and it's on a spring, so it shuts itself, but I just ripped it open and got 2 hands back on the gun and shot my 2-4 shots as I'm still moving from right to left. I'm moving from right to left as I'm coming around the table. I grab the door and whip it open and shoot as my momentum is still carrying me off to the left. So, moving fast. That's, like I said, that was a 12 round course in 5.89 seconds, and that's stand up, shoot 4 targets before you can move towards the door, then get over there and open that door and fire 4 more rounds. So yeah, a lot of fun, real quick and dirty, the way we like it at this match. And let's watch our final stage here. Very interesting. You're gonna like this.
Are you ready? Stand by.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was a little quirky stage. You notice my shooting wasn't quite as fast. There was more accuracy needed on this one, but targets were all wide open, like the rest of the rules for the match setup. But you start with your heels on a board. They just had a little short 2x4 board on the back there. You just put your heels against the board, guns loaded and holstered. And all the shooting, the stipulation or the stage procedure was that all the shooting would be done with at least 1 foot touching the top of this tire, which is on the ground, or standing inside of it. So you had to be touching the top of the tire, or have your foot inside it. And if you're not touching the tire, hey, that's fine, your foot's inside the tire on the ground. And it was one of these kind of sort of memory stages, like, if you stand on the right side of the tire, you stand on the left side of the tire, different targets are becoming available with different pieces of hardcover and barrels and trees and stuff out there. So it was just a matter of figuring out, what can I engage from here, what do I have to engage from here, and what do I have to engage from there on the left side, the right side. And it was, we pretty much figured out that there was 10 targets and a total of 20 rounds, so it was a 100 round course, 100 points available. And it was pretty much, you figured out that from the right side of this tire with your left foot up on it, you needed to shoot 2 targets. I shot 3. It was just more convenient to shoot. That first one I engaged on the right. I switched over to the right side of the tire to engage that one first, and then 1 straight down range, 1 in the back corner, finish it off. So it could be complicated if you didn't figure out your sweet spots there, but yeah, fun course, something different. Different procedure, more than just shoot all the targets from within the boundaries. This one was shoot while touching the tire. So, and I don't know if anybody got creative with that. Our squad just pretty much stood on the left side, stood on the right side with one foot up on top while shooting. Let's see, that one I was 5th overall, 93 points shot out of 100, and that was a 16-second course for me. With let's see, hit factor of only 5.7, so quite a bit slower on that one. So overall, how did we do? Let's find out. Let's get this loaded up here. I was out of 15 shooters, I was 4th place in my open division with my limited gun. And 81.2% overall, so I'll take that, no problemo. I will take that. 883 points overall I earned, with the match winner taking home 1,087 points. It was interesting actually. The first time when it was posted to Practice Score, which we're using all electronic scoring, and it's posted straight to Practice Score. When it was first posted, I was looking at my scores and kind of going through every stage by stage, and I thought everything looked pretty good, and I was 5th overall, and then I noticed I was shooting minor power factor, and I was like, no, that's not right. So I got a hold of the people that do stats and said, hey, bump me up to major. I was not shooting minor, I was shooting my my limited loads, and they have to take what you declare, and I know they were major power, but if you declare major, you got to be major. So, and we weren't checking, there was no chronograph is what I'm saying, so there was no way of checking. So, but these loads are chronoed major at the Area 1 match that we told you about a little while ago. So I'm confident I was shooting major, and once that got changed in the stats, I went from 5th place to 4th, solidly 4th place, so I'm happy with that. So if you want to look up the match on Practice Score, it is called Marysville August 2014 Hosefest, and Hosefest being one word. And if you just put Hose, H-O-S-E, right now, August 2014, it'll be near the top. So I don't know what else to say. Hope you enjoyed that, and I think we're going to come up with a trivia question for you. Alright, so yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the videos from our annual Hosefest. That's, like I said, my kind of match where I don't have to do a whole lot of aiming. I don't have to hold that gun very steady. Just the silhouette of the gun is somewhere on the target, go for it. My kind of match. A lot of fun. Test your trigger speed. I obviously had some little trigger freeze there at times, especially on that first video we showed you. But anyway, so trivia question this week is very simple. We DQ'd somebody at this match for breaking the 180 on stage 1. Like I was telling you, there's 4 targets on the right and then 4 targets on the left, and looking in kind of plan view from above, the last target on the right lined up with the first target on the left. So if you didn't get stopped in time, or if you didn't run past it, you could break the 180. Unfortunately, we had to DQ a guy. He was in open. So there were 16 shooters, but like I was telling you, there's 15 that finished the match. We DQ'd a guy for breaking the 180. Real simple question for you guys. What's the rule number for breaking the 180 in USPSA? Just send us the rule number to our email at powerfactorshow@gmail.com. Send us that rule number for this episode, with this episode number in your subject line, trivia for this episode number. And then and you'll be entered to win at random. We have a K-Rounds gift certificate for 50 bucks towards a holster. We had K-Rounds on the show quite a while ago, and they've given us a certificate to give you guys as part of our prize giveaways. So that's a very good prize, and I hope somebody out there gets good use out of that. So thanks for watching. Like us on Facebook, and check out our website, powerfactorshow@gmail. No, blah. PowerFactorShow@gmail.com. That's our email address. Send your trivia questions there. Your answers to the trivia question. Our website, PowerFactorShow.com. If you're new to the show, go there first. Filter on subjects. If you want to see IDPA, click on IDPA, and it'll bring you all the IDPA related episodes. Also on YouTube, Power Factor Show, we've got it sorted now with, if you want to see IDPA, there's a folder for IDPA stuff, and there's a folder for USPSA stuff, and shotgun, 3-gun. So check us out, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.